Hi friends, welcome to Commerce Bytes. Today we are going to discuss the main points on higher education which are frequently asked in the question paper of Kerala Set exam. So moving to our portion, first we are going to discuss the three committees which are most important and the frequently asked session, that is Yashpal Committee, Ramamurti Committee and Janardana Committee. So the first one is Yashpal Committee, which is also known as Learning Without Burden, and it is in the year 2009. This Yashpal Committee, in its report titled Learning Without Burden Committee, observed that deeply harmful practices in preschools and primary schools, such as early emphasis on shapely drawing, writing and memorizing information, result in a lot of stress and anxiety for the children. The committee recommends that the appropriate legislative and administrative measures should be adopted to regulate the opening and functioning of a early education institution. The other recommendations are: there should be a greater involvement of teachers in framing curriculum and preparing of textbook. The test or interviews for admission in preschool should not be performed. Homework should not be there and project work at primary stages. Extensive use of audio visual material and enforcing teacher-pupil ratio. Ramamurti Committee in 1990. Despite efforts at social and economic development, a majority of our people continue to remain deprived of education, which is one of the basic needs for human development. Government accords the highest priority to the education, both as the human right and as the means for bringing about the transformation towards a human and enlightened society. The national policy on education in 1986 would enable the country to move towards this perspective of education. The government therefore decided to set up the NPE Review Committee. That committee for review is popularly known as Ramamurti Review Committee, after the name Acharya Ramamurti, the chairman of the committee. The committee was appointed on May 7, 1990, and the report was tabled in the Parliament on January 9, 1991. The approach of the committee in reviewing the NPE 1986 and its implication has been guided by the following concern: equity and social justice, decentralization of educational management at all the levels, establishment of participative educational order, inculcation of values indispensable for creation of an enlightened and human society, empowerment of work. Janardana Reddy Committee in 1992, the Central Advisory Board of Education in its meeting held in 8-9 March 1991 examined the procedure to be adopted for the consideration of the report of Ramamurti Review Committee, and is decided that Central Advisory Board of Education Committee is to be constituted to consider the recommendation of the Ramamurti Committee. The Cape Committee was appointed under the chairmanship of Sri Janardana Reddy on 31st July 1991 to review the implementation of the various parameters of NPE, taking into consideration the report of Ramamurti Review Committee. The major recommendation of that committee is listed, that is common school system. Effective measures need to be taken to implement the provision of NPE in regard to the common school system. To this end, disparities between the schools should be ended as early as possible by upgrading the quality of ordinary schools and providing amenities for achieving minimum level of learning. Then the Navodaya Vidyalayas, that the scheme should be continue and the Navodaya Vidyalaya should be set up in each district as originally envisaged. The next one is ECCE, that is the scope of Article 45 of the Constitution need not be enlarged. The Anganwadi workers should play an expanded role for the number of activities and support services for women and children such as the child care, family welfare, nutrition and health. Fourth one is universalization of elementary education. What is needed is not so much a constitutional amendment as suggested by Ramamurti Committee as the manifestation of the national will be achieved. UEE, Operational Blackboard, being one of the priority strategy for UEE, should continue during the V period in an expanded and extended form. Fifth point is adult and continuing education. The dual track approach of promoting simultaneously UEE and adult literacy should continue in educational planning. Programs of post-literacy and continuing education should be planned for new literates. Sixth one is secondary education. Seventh one is vocationalization of education. And eighth one is management of education. And last one is resource for education. I hope these three committees are all clear to you. If you want, you can pause the video and take out all the notes of these three committees. Thank you.